Hello and welcome back to everybody. How many of you like the note of bergamot in fragrances? I know I do, and it's one of the most commonly used notes in fragrances. If you read Fragrantica and note pyramids and breakdowns, and you can smell it a lot, especially in fresh fragrances used in opening to a lot of fragrances as a top note. Today I'm going to be reviewing Bergamote 22 from Le Labo. Okay, so Le Labo's Bergamote 22, released in 2006. In case you don't already know this, if you're familiar with Le Labo, my understanding of their naming conventions for their fragrances is that the name is derived from the ingredient that there is more of than anything else in the formula. So, for instance, in Bergamote 22, there is more bergamot by weight, I believe, than any other ingredient in the fragrance, and the 22 usually stands for the amount of ingredients in total used in that particular formula. For example, patchouli 24 ingredients. Patchouli is the main ingredient by weight. What else is there? I'm trying to think. Rose 31, I think. Rose, 31 ingredients. Now, if I'm incorrect, I'm sure that one of you is going to let me know in the comments. I know some of you aren't shy. So my apologies if I've got that wrong. I've got a decant of Bergamote 22 here for review. I've had this decant for a long time. I'm nearly finished it. Let's go into the opening. And as I expected, there is a really nice mouth-watering tart bergamot here that instantly makes your mouth salivate when you smell it. And it is a great opening. Juicy, tart, everything you like in a bergamot, and it has that kind of spiciness that bergamot also has that kind of sets it apart from other citrus fruit like lemon, grapefruit, orange. What then comes into play a few minutes later is the more bitter and greener petitgrain note, and this note basically remains on my skin. This is the note that stays from start to finish in the development of this fragrance. Unfortunately, that lovely bergamot opening doesn't hang around for too long, so then the petitgrain stays, and what starts to come into play a little bit is this lovely dry, dusty cedar and vanilla. So it kind of gets woodier and sweeter. So you would definitely classify this fragrance as a citrus woody, pretty much, because they're the main elements at play. You get that citric green from the petitgrain sitting on top in the background of that dusty cedar vanilla, and when it eventually dries down, this nice smoky vetiver takes over and becomes the base of the fragrance, and that is what essentially is the dry down of the fragrance. So a few hours later, when you smell the dry down, you're getting this nice smoky vetiver, and it's kind of reminiscent to what you might find in something like Encre Noir Sport, for instance, because that has a play on vetiver with some citrus added. It's a different fragrance altogether. But on that point, if I'm comparing to other fragrances that are doing the same thing, Encre Noir Sport, which I haven't reviewed yet. No, I have reviewed. I've done a review of that. Hangs around for longer, for starters, okay? And is also much cheaper than Le Labo's Bergamote 22. but it doesn't have the bergamot. So if you're a fan of bergamot, now this is where I'm going to ask you guys in the comments to recommend me some bergamot, because I really love the opening of this, okay? And I want to know if there is something out there that I can source or smell that has a wonderful bergamot note that is considerably cheaper than the $270 per 100 ml bottle that this costs via Lucky Scent. I mean, here in Australia that equates to over 400 Australian dollars for a 100 ml bottle for something that pretty much after a couple of hours is a very faint skin scent on me, and pretty much has a longevity of about 4 hours. Although it smells good, there is nothing wrong with the smell. There is just also no way that I'm going to pay that much for a bottle. So, you know, I'm happy I got this decant. I enjoy wearing this, but for something that I'm going to want to respray every few hours, I want something a little bit more economical for my pocket. I just want to go off on a side note here and talk about what we're willing to pay for fragrances, and I don't want to spend too much time on it. Maybe it's a whole other video. I have my personal limit on what I spend for a fragrance, but I've been doing a bit of thinking about this, and it's not so much that I just think you shouldn't pay above a certain amount for a fragrance. When it comes down to it, it really is all about what you can afford to pay. Now, if I really love something, my personal budget only lets me pay around 300 Australian dollars per 100 ml. That's just something I really love. If I had more money, had more disposable income, I'm sure that I would spend more than that on something that I really, really love. This I like a lot, but I don't really, really love. What I do want is a really nice bergamot fragrance that's not gonna send me broke, and will last a bit longer. Is it too much to ask? Maybe it doesn't exist, I don't know. But what I want to know is your recommendations, because really, as far as my own experience with bergamot centric fragrances, I don't really have that much. So I don't have much to compare Le Labo Bergamote 22 to. But I mean, when you do some research and you Google best bergamot fragrance, this does come up a lot. And like I said, there is nothing wrong with the smell itself, but I'm going to have to stick to decants if I want this. But you know, that is a lot of money to be respraying every few hours. Bergamote 22 by Le Labo. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know about your experience with this fragrance in the comments, and your recommendations for really nice bergamot fragrances. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.